Hello there guys, it's Blue County here, back in another video, and today I'm going to do what if Deku was abandoned, part 19, hope you enjoy it. Well, when you think about it, it's technically what if Deku was adopted by Ryuko. I'm reading too much into things, roll the intro. So you guys know the drill, a small recap is needed, but if you somehow missed last part, click an I button right here. So like the previous part of what if Deku was adopted by Miracle, let's put a like goal. Let's say 500 likes. This will prove to me that you guys want another part of this series. Plus it does help me a lot. So when we last left off, Deku won the finals because he was out of the area after he was blown away by his own attack collided with All Might's fist. So after he heard he won, he passed out, and he was taken to Recovery Girl. And after a few moments, Nejire showed up and asked what happened. Recovery Girl told her, and she won up on Aizawa. And he revealed that he doesn't know about Deku's condition. So after they told him, he felt really guilty. Then Deku woke up, Aizawa asked for forgiveness, Deku forgave him. After that, Recovery Girl and Aizawa went to inform the other teachers about Deku's condition to make sure that will not happen again. Meantime, Deku and Nejire talk, and Deku revealed that he didn't go all out against All Might, but if he trained more, he will be able to use more. After that, him and Nejire went back to his house to relax, and after a few hours, Nejire left, but she got a call from Yue telling her to keep an eye out for Deku. So she spent the night with him, and in the next day she went to the therapist with him. And after a small push, Deku revealed everything to his therapist about his past and the finals. So the therapist tell him to let it all out. So Deku called Yue and asked for their help. They tell him to come to Yue and he can use the city that he just fought All Might in. So he went all out for 3 hours straight. And after that he felt different, but in a good way. After that, Deku and Nejire went the separate ways, but when Deku arrived home, he got a call from Ryuko telling him to come to her agency, which he did. And after they talk, she gave him the offer of adopting him, and Deku was more than happy to accept. And in his way back, he encountered Shigaraki. So they talk, and Deku gave him his own version of Talk no Jutsu. And after he was done, he extended his hand to Shigaraki. Shigaraki on the other hand is dumbfounded, so he just gets up and starts walking away. After that, Deku called the cops and told them what happened, and after they let him go, he had his date with Nejire. And at the end, Nejire told him that her parents want to see him. And I think that's it for the summary, so let's begin. So it's next day. Deku is pacing back and forth in his house thinking of what will happen when he meets Nejire's parents. And his mentality of always thinking of the worst is not helping. Then he suddenly got a phone call from Nejire. He pick up, they greet each other, then she asks him is he nervous? No. Then he quickly changed his answer, yes, and he sighed. Nejire tell him to relax and just show the real him to her parents, and they will definitely love him. Let's just hope, Deku reply. So fast forward a few hours and Deku make his way to Nejire's house, and when he arrived, before he knocked, he took a deep breath and knocked on the door. And after a few seconds, Nejire opened it and let him in. Then he saw both of her parents. Nejire's mom gave him a warm welcome, her dad on the other hand gave him a bit of a cold one. But that did not faze Deku because he's used to it. Being able to hold your emotion for like 4 years straight helps a lot. So Deku sat down, then Nejire and her mom went to the kitchen, leaving Deku with Nejire's dad. And after awkward silence, Deku speak up. So should I start or you? Nejire's dad was taken aback about his calm nature, so he told him to go ahead. If he need to say something, let it out now. Alright, Deku reply. I can see that you don't trust me, and I know why. And if I was in your position, I would have done the same. So the only way I can think of for me to earn your trust is to be honest with you. So you can ask any question and I'll answer truthfully. Nejire's dad was taken aback about Deku's calm demeanor and his general attitude. So he asked him, how old are you? 15. Deku was a bit weirded out about the question, but whatever. Really? Nejire's dad replied. Deku nodded. Why, there's a problem? No, it's just the way you talk. It's almost like an adult. Well, Deku replied, when you live 2/3 of your life surrounded with people that literally make their mission to make your life miserable, you are forced of taking care of yourself and becoming your own adult. I see, Nejiri's dad reply. So he realized that his life in orphanage was not easy. Okay, what did you feel for my daughter? Well, it's a bit of a tough question. I cannot choose a thing, so let's just say I fell for her because she's an amazing person. I see. Do you find her carefree nature, aka airhead nature, a bit off-putting? Actually, no, Deku reply. It's because of her carefree nature that I was able to trust her at first. At first? Nejiri's dad asked. Deku not. Like I told you, because of me living 2/3 of my life surrounded with only people that have negative emotions and they only want to hurt me, some of them were upfront with their actions, but some were not. They tried to come close to me with fake smiles and seemingly caring hands, but in actuality they want only to get close to me to make sure they can hurt me the most. So I developed almost like a sixth sense. When I look at someone, specifically their eyes, I almost can see their true self or their intention, if they are genuine or just malicious. But it usually took me almost a day or two to actually get a good read on them. But for Nejire, she was different. I immediately felt that she's a nice person. Because of her carefree nature, she doesn't need to hide her true self. And that's what actually made me trust her. I see, her dad reply. But what do you mean at first? You don't find her attractive? No, sir. She's actually drop dead gorgeous, and that is putting it mildly. But, you see sir, even though I felt that she's a good person, I am a type of guy that believes that actions speak more than words. So yes, I did trust her because of her carefree nature. But what actually made me attached to her, it's her actions. She proved it time and time again that she's a person that I can trust. And she will have my back whenever life got tough. And because of that, she became my friend. My first true friend. And somewhere along the way, I just fell in love with her. And when Deku said that, he had a blush on his face. He tried to hide it, but her dad saw it. So I am ashamed that I come here only with my word, sir. Then Deku bowed. I will give you my word that I will never hurt her. She told me about her exes, and I did see how much they hurt her. And I will never, never do that to her. Meeting her was the best thing that happened in my life. So like she becomes someone that I can trust, let me be the same for her, sir. And after a few seconds of silence, Nejiri's dad speak up. I see she was right about you. You don't like to take credit of your good deed. Deku looked at him with a surprised look. What? What do you mean? Nejiri's dad relaxed and tell Deku, since you were honest with me, I will be honest with you. We actually told Nejire that we want to meet you almost a month ago, but she was able to persuade us to let it be until you are done with your finals. So in doing this time, I was not going to sit still, so I did some digging about you. I didn't find anything, then I remembered that you did spend some time with Ryuko, so I went to talk with her, and she immediately not only gave me her word, but also showed me the report about what happened and everything that you did. What happened in the summer and you protecting Nejire, plus what happened in the sport festival with you losing it after she got hurt, and lastly what happened in your internship. Even though you were hurt, the second she got hurt, you went to check on her. So when you just told me that you don't have anything, only your word, you're wrong. You have plenty of actions that prove that you care about my daughter. So I'm glad that she found someone as good as you. Plus, I can tell when she's around you and when she's not. Whenever she's been with you and come back home, she's always happy. It's not like I'm saying she's not happy when she doesn't spend time with you, but whenever she come home after meeting you, she's happier. So I'm glad that she's dating a good person like you. Thank you, sir. Those are the only words that come from Deku's mouth. And sorry about the weird test, Nejiri's dad tell him. You see, Ryuko did tell me that you would not take credit for what you did, and I found it a bit hard to believe, so I'm sorry about that. Deku sighed and tell him it's alright. By the way, Nejire and her mom heard everything. So when Deku started explaining how he started developing feelings for Nejire and how he feel about her, she got a bit flustered and she was holding the urge of jumping on Deku and hugging him. So her mom saw that and told her to take a few minutes to relax. Then she joined her husband. She scolded him a bit for testing the kid, so he apologized and Deku accepted. Then Nejire joined them after a few minutes. She was still a bit flustered and Deku saw that. So he put two and two together and realized that she heard everything. So he blushed. So they served dinner, and when Deku started eating, he complimented Nejire's mom thanked him, and to make a small talk with her, he asked her for the recipe. You can cook? She asked him, a bit surprised. Deku nodded. Well, I got tired of only eating junk food, so I learned to cook. I see, that's good, she replied. I just hope that my Nejire can also learn. Nejire got embarrassed and tell her, come on mom, I'm trying. And that's all you need, Deku tell her. Nejire looked at him and tell him, what do you mean? Deku scratched back of his head and tell her, let's just say when I start learning how to cook, the fire department were called a few times because of me. And that make everyone chuckle. So keep doing what are you doing and you eventually will learn. And Nejire was holding the urge of jumping on Deku and hugging him for always supporting her. Then something dawned on Nejire's dad. Izuku, if you don't mind me asking, you told me that you lived 2/3 of your life surrounded with those type of people. Deku nod. So how old were you when you were abandoned? 10, Deku reply. So let's make it 1/3. So why did you say 2/3? Well, you see sir, everyone started treating me differently because I'm quirkless. And when he said that, he started looking at both of her parents' eyes to see how they will react. Either will be disgusted or something, but luckily they didn't. They're a bit weirded out, so they ask him, or tell him, quirkless? But you have a quirk, it resembles Nejire but also different. So after he saw their reactions, Deku replied, actually sir, my power is not a quirk. And that piqued his interest, so Deku tell him, do you want me to explain? He nod, and Deku explain how key work. Then Nejire's dad speak up. So you're telling me that everyone can use the power that you're using? Yes, Deku reply. It's like learning how to cook or how to draw. It's a skill that you need to learn. It's just really hard to learn it. I see, he reply. Well, we can add that you are a hard worker to the list. Well, I just try my best, Deku reply. And after they're done with dinner, it's time for Deku to go back home. So Nejire decides to see him out, and right at the door, she hugs him. Deku gets used of her surprise hug, so he hugs her back. I think you were right about them, huh? Deku tells Nejire. She smiles and nods. You know, Izuku, I was a bit surprised. The way you talk to my father is almost like you're asking for his blessing. Then she jokingly said, I actually started thinking that you were going to propose to me. If you can wait a couple of years, then sure. Deku replied in a serious tone, and that made Nejire's face turn from laughter to surprise immediately. What? That was the only word that she let out of her mouth. Then Deku held her hand tightly and told her, Nejire, I'm serious about you, about us. You helped me get a second chance, a second life, and the only person that I want to share it with is you. Nejire hugged him tightly, then she started crying a bit. Deku asked her what's wrong. She told him, I'm happy. I don't know what I did to deserve you. Meeting you was the best thing that happened in my life. Deku hugged her tightly and told her, to answer your question, you're there for me when I needed you. That's it. Then they broke the hug and Deku wiped her tears. So thank you, my little angel. Nejire blushed and she kissed him. And after they broke the kiss, then she told him, when the day comes that you will ask me that question, I will definitely say yes. A million times yes. Because I also want to share my life with you. And that made Deku smile. Then something dawned on Nejire. So wait, when we eventually get married, you will have to take my family name. And that made Deku flinch, and she immediately apologized if she made him uncomfortable. Deku shook his head and told her, you didn't. And actually when you will be the one changing family name. What? She asked him. Well, you see, I was planning of keeping it a secret until it was official, but whatever. Before our date yesterday, I went to talk with Ryuko, and she offered to adopt me, and I accepted. But it will take a couple of days to make everything ready. Nejire was overjoyed for him, and since his mother figure actually became his mom, so she hugged him. Deku hugged back. After they broke the hug, Deku told her it's getting pretty late, so see you tomorrow. She nods. She gave him a quick goodbye kiss, and he went on his way. So when she turned around and started walking to her room, by the corner of her eye she saw her parents smirking. She was still blushing about what just happened, so she told them what's wrong. Oh, nothing, her mama replied. It's just that I'm thankful that I will have a good future son-in-law. Nejire blushed and told them that she's going to her room. So fast forward when Deku arrived to his house. After he sat down on his bed, he took a deep breath, processing everything that just happened. For the first time in a while, he was overjoyed that fate was with him. So when he laid on his bed, he started thinking of what he just told Nejire, and that made him imagine life with her. And for the first time in a long while, Deku fell asleep with a smile on his face. So hours passed. Then Deku woke up in a dark place. Ah crap, here we go again, he thought to himself. He started hearing the voices, but they were weak. So when he yelled, told them to shut it, they stopped. And that shocked Deku. Then he felt something behind him. He turned around and saw the Numu, but it wasn't moving. Then he saw something behind him, or just above it. 5 figures, or shadowy figures. Deku started wondering what they are. Then the figures looked at him. Then the Numu started moving, a similar way for him, almost like attacking him. But it didn't. He just reached his hand toward Deku, and for some reason Deku started doing the same. At the second they touched, Deku heard multiple voices telling him one word. Please. Then Deku jolted awake. He looked at his hand, glowing with his aura. What was that? Deku told himself, trying to catch his breath. Please? What do you mean? Then he kept thinking about it until it's time for him to go to school. So when he arrived, he was surprised to see Nejire waiting for him. So she greeted him with a hug. Deku hugged back, and Nejire noticed he's a bit uneasy. So she asked him what's wrong. So Deku explained about his new dream. You're right, that's odd, she tell him. Did you call your therapist about it? Not yet, Deku tell her. He's still not open. So I will call him at lunch. I see. Alright, Nejire told him. Then she hugged his arm and tell him, remember, it's just a dream, so don't overthink about it and don't let it ruin your day. Alright? Deku smiled and he agreed with her. So they start walking to Yue while Nejire is still hugging his arm, and that make people stare at him. They know about them spending time together, but they don't know about them dating. Well, except for 1A and 3A and Shinso. After he helped Deku, they become good friends. Keep this in mind, it will be important in future parts. So in the way to their class, Nejire start asking him about his power. So one thing led to the other, and Deku tell her, if I can go all out in my training, I should be able to get used to more power in a short period of time. But me going all out is a bit difficult. Why is that? She asked him. Well, let's just say that I will destroy everything around me. So it's been almost a year since the last time I went all out. You did see what happened when I punched the villain in the sand a year ago. Oh yeah, she tell him, you make that big hole. Yep, Deku reply. So imagine that, but times 100 right now because I'm way more powerful. Plus this was only one punch, and training will go for hours. I see, she reply. That will be trouble. You can say that again, Deku tell her. After that they went a separate way, and Deku went to his class. So when Deku entered the class, he was greeted by Momo. Like I said, they are good friends. And she asked him how is he. Deku slightly smiled and tell her, I'm good. And Momo was surprised. Something good must happen for him to make him smile. So she smiled back and tell him, good. Then Aizo entered the class and tell them to share it. Then he told them about the finals, and the results are the same. So the same people that lost also lost. Then he told them, everyone is going to the summer camp. Everyone cheer. Then Deku raised his hand. Yes, Izuku, are we obligated to go to the summer camp? Everyone looked at him in unison. What? It would be fun, come on. Nah, I'm good, Deku replied. I'd rather stay here and train. Aizo told him, but you can't train there. True, Deku replied, but there is no use for me to go there. The same training that I will do there, I will do it here. Then Deku started thinking, I need to find a way to get stronger ASAP. If only, Deku told himself. Aizo stayed silent, then he told Deku, you can't go if you want. But what if I told you that you can go all out in your training there? Deku's eyes widened. He must definitely overheard his conversation with Nejire earlier. So Deku replied with a serious voice, are you sure? And that make Aizo second guess. Whatever Deku mean by going all out, it's serious. So he gulped and nodded. Alright, Deku replied. If that mean I can go all out, I will go. But I have to warn you. My way of training all out is a bit dangerous, to put it mildly. So whatever happen, don't interfere or stop me. Do we have a deal? Aizo is intrigued and afraid. He nodded, but he's thinking that he just opened Pandora's box. And he just need to wait and see what happened. Then after a few hours the bell rang and Deku is heading to the cafeteria. He met up with Nejire and he called his therapist and tell him about his dream. And he was actually intrigued. It's the first time he saw this type of dream. It went from nightmare to whatever this is. So he told Deku, if that happen again, call me. Deku nod. And come to see me after you're done with your summer camp. Deku nod. And he hangs up. Then Deku gets up and tells Nejire that he need to go. You tell him where, we still have time. I need to go to the support team. I want them to do me a favor. Nejire was intrigued. Can I come? Sure, if you want. So she gets up and holds Deku's arm and they start walking. When they arrive, they talk to Power Loader and ask if Hatsume is here. And she immediately pop up from nowhere like she have instant transmission. Then Deku mumble, and people think that I can teleport. Sheesh. So she asks him what he need, and he asks her about the wristbands that the teacher used in the finals. Can you make a couple of pairs, but heavier? Sure, but why do you need them? To train, he replied. She's a bit weirded out because they used to hold back teacher not to train. So she tell him, since tomorrow you guys are going to the summer camp, they will be ready tomorrow. Deku thanks her. In the way, Nejire asks him, is he going to be okay with the summer camp? He tell her, I can manage, but if only she was there with him. It will make him at home when he's far away from home. Nejire blush and tell him that she also want to go with him, but she can't because she have a work study. And this summer camp is only meant for first years. Well, that's a shame, Deku reply. But I'm glad it's going to be only a week. Why is that? She asked him. Well, it's been a while since you and me went to the beach, right? I kind of want to go because last time I was still a bit uneasy around you guys, so I didn't enjoy it fully. She thinks, then she tell him, I think, or we should go after you're done with your camp. It's a date, Deku reply. She smile and nod. So with that we fast forward to the end of the day. Then Deku walk up to Momo and tell her, are you ready? Momo giggled and tell him, Izuku, we are done with our finals. Deku facepalm and tell her, sorry, force of habit. It's okay, she reply. Anyway, I did hear what you told Aizawa about you going all out. Yeah, Deku tell her. I was going to talk to you about that. I will kind of break my promise to you. The training I'm planning, it's a bit in the psycho side. I see, Momo reply. At least promise me that you'll still be breathing after you're done. And that make Deku chuckle. Don't worry, I'm not planning of dying anytime soon. It's just that I need to get stronger ASAP. Why is that, she asked him. I don't know, he reply. Call it my survival instinct. I just have this feeling that I need to get stronger. I see. Let's just hope that nothing bad will happen. Yeah, he reply. Then we fast forward to the next day. During this time, Deku did have that dream again. But this time the voices of Bakugo and All Might were even more quieter. Pretty much not existent anymore. But the figures only tell him please. He heard something after it, but he cannot tell what it is. So while everyone is getting in the bus, Deku is a bit late. He wanted a support class, and like she promised him, Natsume made 8 pairs. Each 4 are the same weight, and the other 4 are more heavier than the previous one. Deku thanks her and he put the lighter ones on. But he didn't pull the trigger yet. He put the other ones in the case, he thanks her and he made his way to the bus. So we fast forward when we arrive at the cliff. Aizawa tell everyone to get out, which they did, and they met up with Pixie Bob, Mandalay and Kota. So they ask where they are, and Mandalay point where the camp is. Everyone immediately understand what's going on, but before they can back up, by the way Deku is beside Aizawa. Aizawa heard 4 clicks. Then he saw Deku start running toward the ravine, and he jumps. Everyone yelled at him for what he's doing, but Deku is not listening and start running. And he immediately encountered one of Pixie Bob's monsters. And he immediately turned it to, I was going to say to Ash, but he just went full on One Punch Man on it. Monday looked at Aizawa and told him he's different. Aizawa nod. Then Pixie Bob used her quirk on them, forcing them to try to follow Deku. But Deku is already far ahead, even though those trains are actually slowing him a lot. But after he used his 100%, it become way easier to move. So fast forward almost like 45 minutes, and Deku reached the camp. He was greeted by Aizawa and the Wild Pussycat and Kota, and they are surprised. You're already here, they told him. Deku nod. And after a couple of minutes, they ask him where are the others. I don't know, he reply. I just kept running because I was alone. The Wild Pussycat gulp. All the time? Deku nod. And they quickly understand that he's strong. So Pixie Bob walked up to him, or rushed at him, to try to mark him and call dibs. But the second she got closer, Deku vanished. He appeared in front of Aizawa asking him if his stuff is already inside the room. He nodded. Then Pixie Bob asked him what was that. Deku turned his head and tell her, sorry, but I'm already taken. Then he started walking inside the building, and that made Mandalay giggle. So while they're waiting, Deku started doing some push-ups and set-ups, and after a few hours, his classmates arrive. Finally, completely exhausted. And by the way, Deku did have his lunch with them. So now he's going to have lunch and dinner, free. Call it a reward because he arrived way earlier than his classmates. So one they start collapsing one by one. Ida saw Deku doing some push-ups. So he asked him how does he still have that much energy to work out after all of this. So Deku told them that he arrived hours ago. Everyone is exhausted, but they ask him how. To be blunt with you guys, and I mean no offense, you are idiots. Ida tell him that's not the way of talking to your classmate, but Momo got intrigued and asked him why. So Deku tell her, can you remember what Mondali told us? She pauses, then she tell him. She point at the camp, then she tell us to go there. And tell us we have to go through the monster's forest. Exactly, Deku tell her. So do you see where you guys did a mistake? They start thinking, but they didn't figure that out. So Deku tell them. Mandalay told us to go through the forest, not fighting the monsters. So this test was almost like a parkour. We need to go from point A to point B in the shortest time possible, meaning we have to avoid the monsters and only fight when it's necessary. And I can see that you guys fought every monster that you saw. Everyone start thinking, and he's right. Then Momo tell him, well, I guess we are idiots. Everyone chuckle, but they're still tired. Then Mandalay looked at Aizawa and tell him he's good. Aizawa nod. So after that they offer them dinner, and after that they go take a bath. And Mineta being Mineta, he tried to go over the wall, but like the anime, Kota stopped him. And after he unintentionally peeked, he fell and Deku catch him, but he's passed out. So Deku take him to Mandalay. By the way, I know some of you guys ask me where's the almighty punch that Kota did in the anime. Well, that punch did not happen. because A. Deku did not want to talk to him. Second, no one replaced him because everyone was tired. But they did ask who is he, and Kota scoffs, so Ida tell him what's his attitude, and Kota tell him that he doesn't want to spend some time with wannabe heroes. So Deku knew that he hates heroes. So after Kota was passed out, Deku take him to Mandalay. Mandalay thanks him for saving him. Then Deku tell her, he doesn't like heroes, does he? Yeah, she reply. I know it's a bit hard to understand. Actually, I understand. Something bad must happen because of heroes, right? Mandalay looked at him surprised, and she nods. How did you? She asked him. I have some experience in that matter, Deku tell her. I see, she reply. Well, you see, both of his parents were heroes. Were? Deku asked her. Yeah. They were killed by a villain. They were the water hose. They were killed while protecting civilians. It's a honorable death, Deku replied. I know, she replied, but making a kid understand that? It's hard. For him, if only his parents were not heroes, he would still have them. That's why he hates heroes. And I don't know what to do. All of us don't. Then picks up John their conversation. Deku stood silent, then he told them, just be there for him and make sure that he understands. They looked at him surprised. Then Deku continued. He just sad and hurt, and he don't know how to cope with his feelings, so he instinctively let them out in form of anger outbursts and not so nice words and actions. He need time to heal, to cope, so this is only a phase. He will understand sooner or later, but you guys need to be there for him. It will be hard, but right now he needs you the most. Both of them looked at him with a surprised look. How do you know all that? Well, Deku told them, I was in a similar boat as him, right after I was abandoned. Abandoned, they think. Then Mandalay remembered that he doesn't have a family name. So it will take some time, Deku told them. Just take care of him. He needs you right now. And trust me, he will deny it as much as he can, like I did. But then Deku smiled. The people that helped me didn't give up on me. And because of them, I turned out better. So it's up to you. Show him that you are people that he can trust. And hopefully everything will turn out alright. They nod and thank him for his opinion. Deku nod and tell them anytime. Then he yawns. It's getting pretty late. I'm going to bed. In his way, his phone rang. He pick up and it's Nejire. She asked him how was the first day of the camp. Good, he reply. But technically the first day begin tomorrow, so... Oh, I see, she reply. Well, good luck. And don't push yourself too much, alright? Okay, Nejire. Take care and have sweet dreams. Then they hang up. And I think I'm going to stop it right here. So what do you think of it, guys? What's up with this weird dream? What are those shadows? What will happen in a camp? Leave your thoughts in comments down below. And like I said in the beginning of this video, let's try to reach 500 likes. It does help me a lot. And it proves that you guys want another part of this series. And if you're new, subscribe. There is more videos like this coming. And like always, guys, peace.